Yo, y'all know what it is. We back with another episode. This one's gonna be a little bit different. Y'all know y'all tuned in to Drunk Sports Talk. Right now we talking drunk combat talk for today. Here with me is my brother. Y'all seen him on a couple of episodes in the past. G the character.
Hey, yo.
We're doing a little bit different today. I know we've been talking a lot about the Giants, Harbaugh and the Knicks being depressing in the past couple of days. So we figured we change a little bit up today. And I say that to say this. We're gonna talk a bunch of big fights, but there's gonna be some videos you're gonna be watching. So some of the videos you're gonna be seeing is sports footage under fair use as defined by Section 107 for Copyright Act for commentary, criticism, analysis of boxing, UFC, basketball, and football. Just to get out that way, I don't want nobody taking our videos down. So this weekend, G, I know you the big MMA, UFC guy. You know what I mean? I follow boxing a little bit more, but I do watch UFC, but I'm not no diehard like you. You know the ins and outs. You know what I mean? You know everything. Fighting styles. Who's a wrestler? Who did that? Who has a weak left knee and throws a right hand hook, and he's just gonna like.
I'm not in the locker rooms. I'm not in the locker
everything.
rooms.
But like this is a big week, and we're gonna get to some of the fights, but one of the biggest things that's gonna be a little bit different this, especially for this fight card, is that it's the first time it's gonna be on Paramount, right? And the contract was insane. I do a little bit of research, man. 7 years, $7.7 billion, man.
Yeah.
Yo, Dana getting paid out here, man. Like now what? And this is what I want your opinion from. Like, what do you think is gonna happen with some of these fighters? These elite guys, the top guys. They were getting some extra PC from pay-per-view and all the other things that surround it about when you do those type of events. And now it's on Paramount. It seems like it's more controlled. Like, so you think? Do you think their collections and their earnings is gonna change in the near futures for some of these these guys that just put their life on the line in that ring, in that octagon, I say?
Well, we'll start at the top. UFC on Paramount. If you a person that's been watching UFC since the 90s, you see that the brand has always looked for a home. You know what I'm saying? It used to be on Spike. It just left ESPN. Like UFC has always like looked for a home. It's never had a home. And each and every time Dana White finds a brand new home for UFC, it's always more money than the previous contract. So, give it up to that man for being, in my opinion, probably the number one promoter of a fighting league of this generation. He's definitely like the richest. He does it better than Oscar. Yeah, he does it better than a lot of people that promote that. Vince McMahon was good at it, even though wrestling is half in, half out. Vince McMahon was a great promoter at one point in time. But now, it's the Dana White UFC show. We're back with UFC 324 on Paramount. I'll be honest with you, it's been very quiet compared to what I'm used to seeing on when they were ESPN. When you watch every dude damn near watches ESPN like one time a day. Every dude, if you're a real dude, you watch ESPN. I should say that, and you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So now we don't have that banner on ESPN like we used to. There used to be a banner, UFC 320 something this weekend. They would talk about it. The host would bring it up. Now that's gone. Now it's on Paramount. Now the relying on marketing is, from what I've witnessed, because you had to watch Landman in order to get a UFC promotion commercial and know it was coming this weekend. And you have to be on YouTube and be subscribed to somebody or something that's subscribed to know that UFC 324 is this weekend. Because that ESPN marketing beast is no longer available. And that's something I hope that they do figure out, how to market the merchandise now, because it is on, just because it's on Paramount comes with their own slew of people. It doesn't necessarily mean that the job isn't to obtain new fans. The job is always to obtain new fans. That is the name of the game, and anything that you're selling anything visually on TV. You always got to change it up to get new fans. You got to do something to get new fans. ESPN was a big market that we're missing now. I hope Paramount can make it up. Now, as far as fighters go, I had thought about this question. What made superstars, the pay-per-view model. If you were doing good, you would get on a pay-per-view. Everybody that watched the pay-per-view, whether it would be in a group, be in a bar, be in a house, when you watch the pay-per-view, there's a big chance a new fan is gonna grab because we paid X amount of money for it. If you paid money for a pay-per-view, that means that you know somebody that's on the card because you're eager to see them.
Yeah, you don't think
now with Paramount though? Now with Paramount, I feel like the availability to the UFC might kill the stardom in the fighters, because it's not something so epic now where it's like, yo, I'm buying the pay-per-view to watch this guy, and then all of a sudden this guy knocks this guy out. Now you're gonna have to now it seems as if you're gonna really have, which is, it might be part of the model, but you're gonna have to sit there and actually watch these fights from beginning to end, even though it might be on your subscription and you're not paying the pay-per-view and you're not being asked to come over by a friend. That casual person or that person that wants to learn UFC, I feel like that this is their type of moment for them, where it's like you don't have to just be a person that orders the pay-per-view and watches it on big fights. I think that's where superstardom comes from. Now you got the internet. Now you have things like that. Don't get me wrong, but when it comes to fighting in the fight world, it's how you fight. All that other stuff is noise. Any real fighter would tell you it's how you fight. This is how they want to get judged. This is how they want to go out on their shield, how they fight. So the marketing is just questionable with Paramount. I think it's a beautiful thing. Salute to Dana White, 1.1 million. 1.1 billion. I'm sorry. Amazing. 7 point. Yeah, but 1.1 billion for 7 years.
Oh, yeah.
Per year. That's fucking. If there was ever a manuscript of a life to live as a promoter, remember, this guy went to go get, this business used to be owned by 3 other people, the Machado brothers, and like another like this always switched hands until he bought it completely for himself. You gotta salute that. You gotta give it up. And I'll just say one thing. We saw what you guys were doing at the end of 2025, giving us those kind of crappy cards. And this is why they were doing it.
Yeah.
They were holding reserve for Paramount. Look, we got 324 this week. 325 is right around the corner. It's next.
Yeah, but
they're throwing pay-per-views back to back for you guys.
And this is what I'm saying. And I think, for like somebody who's not a casual, right? Like, obviously who doesn't mind spending $60 for a big fight, doesn't even care about UFC, just want to have people over. I don't like those people. I feel like if you're a real fan, you want to invite people over to your crib and you want to throw an event. Yo, I'm only inviting over, and Cash knows it. Shout out to Cash, bro. I forgot to shout you out in the beginning. Let me take a shot for you, because I didn't even do a toast because homie don't drink no more.
Yeah.
So but me and Cash know, like, if I'm doing a Super Bowl party, if you don't watch football, I'm respectfully not inviting you.
That's valid.
You know what I mean? Like, and see, but like, that's what I feel like, people who buy the fights, they will go out there and spend the money. Now, for like somebody who's a diehard, I feel like this even makes it even easier for them, because now, the premium package for Paramount is $14 a month.
Yeah, I think they went up, actually. I think it was 60 for a year, and now it's like 90 or something.
Yeah, so like figure you might spend $140 a year,
but you get free fights once a month.
Free fights, and
twice a month.
That's
sometimes 3.
That's 2 pay-per-views a year that now you can have unlimited. You're gonna watch everything. Now you don't have to pick and choose. You will pour that month. But the fight came on the first of the month. You don't got that extra $70, $75, $60, whatever it may be, depending on who's fighting. You don't got that. Nah, nigga, I got Paramount, B. We could all just go in the crib and watch 2 niggas beat the shit out of each other.
The positive is for the fan.
Yeah.
The positive is for the fan.
Definitely.
But when we're talking about what we know John Jones for, what we know, Conor McGregor for, when we talk about the UFC superstars, right? I just hope they get the proper marketing. I hope the same way we see the UFC countdown, the same way we see all these shows, I hope they're available on Paramount. So the casual don't have to go to YouTube and worry about the commercials. The casual can go on Paramount and get a whole discog of who that fighter is. Because that's one thing we still got to do right now. We still got to go to YouTube and watch these things because they're not available to us anywhere else.
Yeah.
Unless you have well, now they're off ESPN Plus because ESPN don't have them no more. So you see all these, this is where that switch where Paramount, in order to make superstars, and UFC is not in the business of making superstars. UFC is in the business of putting on good fights.
Yeah.
You know, so it comes to the marketing team and how the visual looks. I agree with you. Mad fights a year. But I hope, you know what I hope it don't come down to? UFC's on this weekend. Yeah, it's on every weekend.
Yes.
That's what I hope it don't come down to.
That's yeah.
And you know, I wanted to speak to what you said. You're right. You can throw an event where the people when you throw an event and the people you invite over are the people that are XYZ. But if one of those people have a girlfriend, a wife, if one of those people, you know, it only takes one group to mess up the group, you know?
Yep.
At the end of the day, UFC, what I like about it, I have yet to have anybody in my presence that I'm watching UFC with to be like, ooh, turn that off. Because I talk people through what they're watching. It's not just two half-naked barbarians throwing bowls at each other. There's a sweet science behind it. Just like boxing, there's a sweet science. Just like football, there's a sweet science. Just like basketball, every sport has a sweet science to it.
And I know we're going on topic because I want to talk about some of these fights.
Bam, bam, bam,
Because
bam.
there are gonna be some good fights, but I'm unlike you. I don't like talking niggas through it, bro. Like I'll do it as a.
You just want to see the fucking take your head off.
No, not even that. Like if I'm watching anything, like I don't want to explain to somebody how many points a field goal is, or a touchdown, or what a holding penalty is, or yo, what is a backcourt violation, and
you one of the fans. You one of the fans that are in the building.
I think you're in the wrong place, my guy. Or at least you're in the right place to watch the shit, but you asking the wrong motherfucker.
But you got to remember something.
I mean? Like,
you got to remember something. When it comes to UFC specifically, a lot of people up until I started like making events and making people come over, and a lot of people were unfamiliar of the depth in this. A lot of people, we remember the Chuck Liddells and the UFC ones and but yo, from the I think I started watching UFC at like UFC 175. From that point on to 324, you got to think about everything that I've seen and
what happened before, like,
and that's why I talk people through it, because for me, I'm still goo gaga over it. I'm still, oh my God, he just fucking grabbed his leg to flip him over. Yeah. I still get fanned out and geeked out, because what happens in every sport, all it does is evolve, and you get these new players in the game that are even better than the old players, right? And that's the beauty in the sport. I've got to see this shit for 200 damn near UFCs.
How many years is that?
Joe, I've been watching UFC for, it's not that long, because it's only 2026, so maybe like 2020, 2019.
Nah, they already did that many?
I think so, yeah, because they came to a point where they were doing like 12 pay-per-views a year. They were doing like one a month. They had one a month. It's amazing, you know what I'm saying? Like, UFC is telling you, like, salute to people loving to watch people fight. But yo, speaking of fighting, let's get into these fights, B.
Yeah.
All right, I wanted to start on the last fight of the prelim. I wanted to start with Umar Nurmagomedov versus Davison Figueroa for bantamweight. What is bantamweight? 125, right? Yeah. What do you think about that? So Umar Nurmagomedov, he comes from the Khabib background. He's actually trained under Khabib.
Submission.
Yeah, he has a 19-1 record. You know, everybody assumes he's gonna be the next guy. Everybody assume, and he is the heavy favorite to beat Figueroa, with respects. You know, all that wrestling that the Dagestanis do, it doesn't. It has to work. That formula also fucking. Another dude tested positive for steroids in Khabib's camp a couple weeks ago, but we won't talk about that. Yeah, you never know what people over in the third world countries are doing to get by. You know what I'm saying? I'll just say, but you know, Khabib, anybody in Khabib that comes out of Khabib's camp, Bilal Muhammad, he went over there to train with them. You know, he has a pupil in Umar. The champion at 150, at 170 is his cousin, I believe. Like, if you got the last name of Magomedov, you're a monster. You have to have that last name. But the odds are phenomenal.
What odds?
The odds are crazy. I think
is that plus 550? I see.
Yeah, plus 550 on Umar.
Oof.
Like, so the problem with Davison Figueroa is he's Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He likes to keep it on the hands. He's a grappler, but when it comes to people that wrestle bears, those Dagestanis are just different, man.
Yeah,
they wrestle bears,
Yeah, that's some scary shit.
And I like the Davison Figueroa. I really do.
Feel like some of the jiu-jitsu fighters don't fend well against
wrestlers.
Yeah, wrestlers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they just, as soon as you play that ground and pound game, like, it's just gonna be, they're gonna be put into predicaments where they're not gonna feel comfortable. Like, because they like to stay upright. They like to stay upright and be in charge of the fight.
Well, he does have grappling on his side, though. Grappling is a big deal. If you can get somebody clinched up, the problem is when you grapple a wrestler, what he does is he goes straight for a body lock under your butt with his hands, and he plops you pleasantly on the floor, and now you're in his world, right? So that's the problem when you fight a wrestler. But if Figueroa could have some footwork, keep the distance, when it comes in close, grapple, throw some elbows, he might have an opportunity to go ahead and snatch this. That he is. He doesn't have. Umar Nurmagomedov does not have a clean record. He's 19-1. So if Davison Figueroa can come in,
that's like damn near undefeated in MMA talk. You know what I mean? In UFC world.
Yes, but when you're in Nurmagomedov and Khabib is your guy, Khabib has an undefeated record. Yeah. You got to think about that. So there's a. There is a way that Figueroa can win. Yeah. Am I putting betting money on Figueroa? Absolutely not. Umar Nurmagomedov just got too many tools to win. It's just, I think it's written in the stars for that one. Yeah. All right, let's go Arnold Allen and what is that? Sean Sylvia. Sean Sylvia is a scary motherfucker. I want you to see this guy.
Sean Silva.
Sean Silva.
I'll be honest, I've never heard of him.
Oh, because he was out of fighting for a little while. I think he hasn't fought. Look, see, 11 months ago. Look at his highlights. This nerd is putting people to sleep. He's a monster. When he was in, he was a monster. He got knocked out his last fight, if I'm not mistaken. He got knocked out his last fight, and he hasn't been. But he was on like a. Look, he was on like a tear. I think he was like a five or what is it?
And what type of style is the guy he's fighting? Who's the guy he's fighting?
Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen. He's a smart fighter.
Yeah.
He's a smart fighter. He kind of looks a little nerdy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell him that to his face.
Yeah, I think I've seen like one or two.
And he's lanky. Yeah. And he's lanky.
But I don't think.
But you see the power behind his hands.
From seeing what Silva's doing, he looking like he likes to fight in a phone booth.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's scary. That's scary in the UFC world, man.
Yeah, but this is where Arnold Allen has to be smart.
Yeah. He's gonna have to. Yeah, he's not gonna be throwing it.
He's not gonna be able to fight like that.
He's not.
He's not gonna be able to fight like that.
And it seems like he doesn't even have like knockout power. That guy was still standing. So.
There's a big difference.
There is, because and from what I saw from Silva and what I know from Arnold, like, if you're not gonna be able to knock that guy out,
look. But this is what he has to do. This is what he has to do. If Arnold Allen can sync up a Darce, sync up a neck hold, sync up anything like that. You see how that guy was beating him up in close, head down? Look how he sunk that up.
Yeah, that's how he had to tame an animal.
That's how you tame. Yo, I don't give a fuck. When it comes to your life or my life, bro, the way I gotta win is the way I gotta win. You can't judge me.
Oh, man.
The odds on that?
Yeah, what's the odds on that?
It's pretty even money. Plus.
Nah, they got plus. What was it?
It's pretty even money.
Yeah.
It's pretty even money.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
190, 195.
Yeah, it could go either way. It could go either way on that. Yeah,
I think they're basing it upon Silva not being in the ring for a long time. Allen has been active, so it's probably that close because of that. So I'll go Arnold Allen. I got faith in him.
All right.
All right, we got Natalie Silva and Rose Namajunas. Yo, Rose Namajunas. I know.
Yeah, that's a chick fight, right?
I don't mean to make jokes, but you look like Sandy from SpongeBob. You look like Sandy from SpongeBob.
That's funny. I just saw that movie.
Yo, she does look like Sandy from SpongeBob. Yo.
Oh my god.
Yo, she's a badass. Thug Rose is not no fucking joke, ladies and gentlemen. Her whole career has been up, she has a pretty 50-50 record. You can't say she don't. 15-7, But all her fight lately, she just looked like she slowed down a lot. I think that comes with age.
Yeah.
She moved up in weight in order to take this fight because obviously she's older. As you get older, your bones get heavier. So she moved up. Yeah, but Natalie Silva is not coming for a loss. This was old Rose. This was what Rose used to do when she was active. Rose with the braids. Call it what you want. I'm with the braids. but but Natalie Silva, this girl's no joke. I think she's what? 9-5.
Yeah.
9-5. And like I said, I don't think she's coming for a loss. She's young. UFC, this is what UFC looks for. UFC looks for young talent coming up.
Yeah.
UFC looks for, unfortunately, they look for their legends to kindly be killed. You know what I'm saying? No, but not many fighters get a pleasant walkout party. Even when they get knocked out. Look at Poirier. He get knocked out.
He got knocked out. He got knocked out. He got knocked
out. You kind of don't get like a out, So you gotta fight your way out in UFC. And Rose, give it up to her because she's taking on the younger, stronger lion. It's pretty even money as well. -150 for Silva, +130 for Rose. It's pretty even money. Could go either way.
Yeah.
Come on, give me the highlight.
But
see Silva's very active.
Yeah, but and you can see she's always using her legs as well. Like but I think she fights Taekwondo.
I think they're all Brazilian jiu-jitsu,
right?
bro.
Yeah, all Brazilian jiu-jitsu, right? Like this is.
If somebody was Taekwondo, I think I would hear it. That's how rare that is.
Yeah, right?
I think Taekwondo gets you fucked up in this game. You gotta know wrestling, Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You see her head movement too. She's very much in the game. Look, this is second round already. Her opponent is shooting out of tiredness, and she still holds her opponent down. Look, holding the elbows, hands to the face. Look, keeping her balance. Look, while her opponent, look, throwing her opponent to. She's gonna do that to Rose. If Rose tries to grapple with her, she's gonna attempt to look another one. Boom, put her on the ground. Yeah, I can't even say that girl's name. How do you say that girl's name?
Yeah, just
Cividius.
Yeah, spell that. Spell that without.
Her name is crazy. Going to school with that name? Jasu Davidius.
Yeah. That's not even it. Jasu Davicius. Jasu Davicius.
Yeah,
yo, she comes from Gladiator. If you didn't know, she comes from Gladiator.
Oh, I could tell. From
Gladiator.
Yeah, nigga. Her fucking great grandfather was part of the Sparta 300.
Yeah, I can see it. The Octagon is her Coliseum.
Yeah. But this is how she'll be picking apart Rose Namajunas. I'll be putting my money on Sylvia between those two. Waldo Cortez, I don't know much about the guy, but he seems like a badass. I do know Derek Lewis, though. You know Derek Lewis, too. Yeah. Let's see some highlights from your boy Waldo. I think he's Spanish, too, because when I heard him talking, he sounded like he had a little bit of, oh, man. He looks like these dudes are big. Imagine being a heavyweight, Quest. Imagine being.
I am heavyweight. I'm 220 pounds.
Oh shit, yo, you would be fighting in heavyweight. Nah, nigga, no, you won't. I would tell you not to and drop weight and go to 180, 190, nigga.
I wouldn't just make the decision to even fight in heavyweight. I would just be like, I'm not fucking fighting. Like, but
look. He's getting picked apart by Delija. Look, he's getting picked apart. See, that's how he loses fights, right? I wonder. Oh, there you go. He got eye poked. So they kept going with the.
Oh, so they kept the fight going?
I think so. Let's see. Oh yeah, look, they put the fight back on because he got eye poked.
Oh.
Oh. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. I mean, what can we say, man? Two heavy hitters, two big boys.
Yeah.
Throwing tons of bricks at each other.
Like, what do you expect? Like,
you know what Derek Lewis does? Derek Lewis comes in.
Shit's a borderline street fight.
Cortez does have something to lose, though. He's 16-2. Derek Lewis is 12-9. Cortez coming in as the younger fighter. Cortez coming in. What is this? What's the odds there?
120 minus 25. Oh, no,
it's just these two. There you go.
Yeah,
minus 245 for Lewis and plus 1 set. Oh no, wait.
No, it's minus 330 for
Lewis.
Acosta.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Cortez Acosta and minus 245 for Lewis.
They write these weird on ChatGPT. That shit looks awkward.
Yeah, that shit's wild awkward, bro. That's why you can't trust
computers,
man.
So Lewis is the favorite, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lewis is the favorite. I mean,
no.
Acosta's the favorite. You get why Acosta's the favorite. He's the younger fighter. He only got 2 losses. But if you know Derek Lewis is not coming to do nothing but knock a person's head off. So I never really bet against Derek Lewis unless it's somebody that's going to wrestle him or keep him on the ground.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Derek Lewis with this one. Don't take my bets. If you're a betting man, don't take my bets.
Yeah. but we know what can happen.
All right, we're getting up to the co-main event.
All right. This is going to be good.
Sean O'Malley versus this. I don't know. Every time I say his name, it just sounds
Song Yudong.
Song Yudong. Pause, nigga.
Wow. That's a wild pause, bro. Yo, how you have a name that's every time a pause?
Nah, nigga, nah. The best part is him going to school and his teacher saying that shit out loud. Song Yudong.
Pause.
Song Yudong.
Yo, imagine doing that and then raising your hand here. Pause.
Bro, they walk into dim sum with a reservation and they go the Dong family.
Yo, that's crazy, bro. That is crazy. Wow.
Yeah. So Song Yudong, what can I say? Anytime the lights get bright, the guy loses. You know, anytime it's been against a great fighter.
Well, he won his last fight, right? He won his last fight, then he lost his fight before that. He's been losing and winning and winning and losing.
He's a streaky record, 22-8-1. He has a streaky record. This shit, you know why they did this? In my opinion, and call a spade with a spade. I'm not saying it's an easy fight. If Sean O'Malley is sleeping, he will lose the fight. He lost his last 2 to the champion, so it's warranted. You know, Dallas Willie beat him twice, so now it comes down to they gave him food. They say, yo, if you want a shot back to the belt, if you think you can do it again, this guy's not easy. He wins 1/3. He wins 2/3 of the time. He's 12-8. 22-8. He wins 2/3 of the time. It's a 66% chance that he can beat you. Basically, you want it or not. He took it. He did what he does. He made a little post. And I hope that we get the serious sugar show.
But you know, like, and I love when they do this because this is not usually what they do. Like they
don't give nobody toss-ups.
Not like that. And even if it is a toss-up, because if he loses, then now we know he's just done for.
Well, if he loses, then yeah.
And if he wins, the only way he's really gonna look like a victor in the eyes of the UFC world and actually get his shot again to where he wants to be, he has to win in great fashion. In spectacular. He has to put a beating on this man. Like, if this shit even goes to the decision and he wins, he's still gonna get the side eye. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just lose twice from the same guy, recently, and then they give you another shot as the co-main event, which, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, there was somebody that had surgery, so they had to fill in the spot. But when industries of entertainment world it's very rare that they give you these type of chances to show yourself again. And when they do, you got to take full hard advantage of it. Don't play around. Go there, show the business. We know Sean O'Malley can fight, but he needs to take advantage of the opportunity he's given, because he's already been given plenty of opportunities to be where he's at right now. But now he has a chance to really get back to almost where he was. He just has to show that he can knock this guy out and don't even waste no time doing it. I'm telling you, if it goes past like 3 rounds, they're gonna just look like, all right, like, you know what I mean? Like, you almost could have lost. That's how they're gonna look at it in my eyes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Sugar Show. I'm gonna go with the Sugar Show, knocks him out, possibly in round 1, only because of the way Song Yadong comes into fights. Damn. Yeah, I'm just calling you Song, bro. Yeah, only, only because the way Song comes into fights. Yo, stop it. Honestly, I think O'Malley, he's coming to make a statement. If he still wants to fight, he's obviously training, like I said, from his videos. But if he still wants to make a statement, the way to make a statement is knock this guy out in the first round. He comes out. Right. He comes out with his hands out, his hands up, but his jaw also be up too. Just come out, do what the Sugar Show does, knock him out, make a call out for the title immediately. Don't even hesitate. Don't ask for the next person. Make a call out straight for the title because you were the champion. And then, maybe we get you fighting on the White House card. Woo! That'd be dope to have the Sugar Show on the White House card. And I think that's why these fights are coming early with these fighters, because Patty's a big name. Like, there's certain big names that UFC would want to have on this White House card to blow the roof off of it.
Well, and not to steer, but like not to steer in another like.
But O'Malley is one of those names.
Yeah, but like not to even steer, but like now I kind of almost, now that you're saying that, I kind of almost feel like now you are gonna start seeing a lot of big UFC fights, which is what happened when
well, you can't.
The Prince over there in boxing.
You can't use.
He's putting all the big names over there and making niggas fight, and that's what kind of Dana White kind of did to force these people to fight, whether the fighters like it or not, and you know what I mean. But I just think they need to get paid a little bit more, and we could talk about that topic on our next episode of MMA Talk. But
yeah, we'll do a deep dive.
I think Sean O'Malley definitely numbers. Yeah, because like to think about it, like John Jones is the only one to ever get paid. Like he's the highest paid fighter ever, $13 million just for one fight. Like that's like looking at boxing, and I look at UFC, and I appreciate UFC, but looking at boxing, like why, like the ranges of pay is like such so dramatic.
You're going down the rabbit hole.
But you know what I mean.
But you gotta,
you know
what you gotta remember though.
We gotta talk about this on another. Yeah. We gotta talk about it. But I'm saying I just think these,
because I agree with you.
I think these guys should be paid more. And I'm a bigger boxing
fan. That's why taking away the pay-per-view model, I don't know, because now a fighter does not get the pay-per-view buys. When you were the champion, you got half the buys. Yeah. There's no buys no more. Where's that money being made up from? It's coming from the UFC's pockets. Yeah. That's why I say this deal has its negatives and positives, and I think just like everything that's brand new, all the kinks have to get worked out in order to see if it works or not.
Yeah, we're just breaking this down right now, but we're gonna come back and
I will give you a chart. I will next couple episodes. I will have charts for you.
G's gonna come back with fucking.
I will have charts for you
with a PowerPoint showing pie graphs and increase.
The reason you get paid this much is because of this much. But if you do the revenue stream into your marketing on TikTok and Twitch and Kick, you see the fighters that do that, they demonstrate this.
He's gonna come with that metal pointer.
Yeah. But it is something to be looked at, because there is imagine the dude that's fighting on the undercard in the prelims.
Yeah.
And he's getting paid what compared to the guy that's fighting
$8,000, $10,000.
And then you hear a lot of these big fighters, So I think I just heard somebody. I got paid $425,000 as a heavyweight to fight. In boxing, a big boxer's not coming out for no $425,000. You know what I'm saying?
Not a well-known one.
Not a well-known one. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then as what happens with UFC is they kind of, if you don't win fights, you don't go up in pay. If you're not entertaining, you don't go up in pay. So what happens is, say you don't cover those two boxes where you're winning fights and being entertaining. If you're at a certain pay, they're going to keep you there and then you have to renew your contract. When they come to renew, they're going to be like, hey, you didn't do these numbers. We can't give you X amount. You know what I'm saying? It's all about what you have to come to the renegotiating table when you get that title. Renegotiating table when your contract is up. Renegotiating table when UFC calls you on a month notice. And like this Song Yadong fight. They called Song Yadong on O'Malley. Oh, they called O'Malley on short notice.
Yeah, they called O'Malley, yeah.
And O'Malley was like, I'll take it. That's always dangerous. No matter who your opponent is, saying yes to something that is short is always dangerous unless you stay dangerous. If you stay dangerous, then nothing's ever too dangerous.
Yeah, word up. If you always training and you know what I mean, doing what you gotta do, man, you know, like you always prepared. Like I'll be watching this dude on like TikTok, man. Yo, Troy Archer, yo, he said stay in the pocket, son. That's it. You gotta stay in the pocket. You know what I mean? I'll give him credit for that one. Yo, he's a big brolic nigga. Said that you know, but he motivates people. Yo, you always take care of yourself. Your body's your temple, man. And if Sean O'Malley was doing what he's supposed to be doing on his off days, he's gonna go into that octagon and handle his business.
Well, I will say we did see a better Sean O'Malley versus Davalos Willie. Even though he lost the fight, come on, it's Davalos Willie. He's a wrestler. Yeah. There's just sometimes techniques and styles they make fights. But Sean O'Malley had up until that point said he had put the weed down, said he had put the drinking, everything down. So, and he looked in shape on his videos. He literally in the gym. He didn't do it from his car. He didn't do it from the comfort of his home. He did it from the gym sweating. So, like I said, I assume he's always ready. A champion is always ready. He's an ex-champion. He knows what it is when the UFC calls your number. He gets paid a decent amount of chips to do this. And he's the co-main event. This ain't a regular. This is the co-main event on the first Paramount fight, UFC 324. He's not coming to lose.
If that's not a spotlight, I don't know what
Yeah, Sean O'Malley's not coming to lose. Betting money I put on Sean O'Malley. All right. Last but not least, let's get to the Justin Gaethje versus Paddy the Baddie. Let me say it right. Justin the Highlight Gaethje. Give that man his respect. Versus Paddy the Baddie Pimblett. What are we doing here, bro?
Yo, this is gonna be a good fight.
What are we doing here,
I think
bro?
this is gonna be a good fight, man. We got a wrestler who don't wrestle.
Okay.
Who just want to throw hands.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then we got a submission artist.
Okay.
Battling a wrestler. You know?
That don't want he's not a Paddy's not really a submission artist. He's a grappler. But
but he got like
he got a couple.
He got like 10 submissions.
He got more than Gaethje.
He got 10 submissions.
He got more than Gaethje.
He only got 3 knockouts. You know, it's flip side. How many knockouts does Gaethje have? How many?
Well, a grappler don't necessarily. A grappler is just somebody that get a hold of you and will make you regret it. That's just a grappler. It's different. Wrestlers like to have you on your back. Wrestlers grapple too. But a grappler specifically can do it on the feet very well. Wrestlers always want to get you to the ground. He likes to stay on the.
And a grappler's gonna make you, you know what I mean, like tap out, bro. Like basically, you know what I mean. A wrestler's gonna just get you tired enough so that when you stand up on both feet, I'm gonna just use my arm strength now to just knock you out.
Can we just talk about strength of record and like Justin Gaethje? When I look at the line of people he's fought, Michael Rumble Johnson, Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier twice, lost the first time.
Knocked him out the
second. James Vick, Edson Barboza, Donald Cerrone, Tony Ferguson. He lost to Khabib, obviously. We saw that. He beat the shit out of Michael Chandler. That's the fight we're seeing right now in the little box to the right. That's when he destroyed Michael Chandler. You know, he beat Rafael Fiziev twice. He lost to Max Holloway by getting knocked out. It's really hard to bet against this guy's record. I feel like he created his own narrative, and which is why people are betting against him. He said something about this might be he's going to retire if he gets knocked out, and that means he's on the thought process of retiring,
which is not good.
And as a person that's going into a main event fight for a title, this is for an interim title. This is not just a fight. This is for an interim title, meaning that person that wins the belt has a golden ticket to the champion in Ilia Topuria, right? Like this is not this is not easy. So you don't just got to win one fight. You got to win 2. And he's talking about this might be my last ride. When I see his strength and his record, I'm like, your record, you fought the best of the who's the best of the best. If Gaethje can get out of his own head and get out of his own way, he can still pull this off. And it's been a while since we see him with a knockout. Last one was Poirier. Granted, other than that, they've been
it was like a year and a half ago.
You know, and that was a big head kick to the top. Not saying it can't happen for Patty, but Patty got younger legs. Patty is hungry. Patty, let's go with Patty's record. Last fight was also Michael Chandler. He knocked him out. He knocked him out. So where Gaethje couldn't do it, he knocked out Michael Chandler. He triangle choked to King Green. That's that jiu-jitsu that you spoke about, that grappling, that submission, which is a lot of people are saying Patty should run this into the 4th and 5th round and put Justin Gaethje in a submission, because if we've seen anything about a weakness in Justin Gaethje, he does get submitted. Yeah. He's got submitted twice, both times for a championship. And he has come up short 2 times by getting submitted. And he's fighting a grappling specialist in Patty the Batty. You can see why and he's fought Tony Ferguson too. I only named 3. Obviously, he has other fights on his record, but those are the 3 most notable. UFC has not been giving him any easy fights in the last 3 fights, even though the people that they've given him have all been out the door, including from, unfortunately, what Justin Gaethje just said. He's kind of out the door. So if in the perfect world for the UFC and in the fairy tale in which the story is kind of being told, Patty taps Justin Gaethje 4th round, 5th round. That's what it looks like. And if it doesn't happen that way, Justin Gaethje gets a knockout in the 2nd or 3rd round. Because Patty has a bad habit of fighting with his guard open and his head out when he throws punches. He throws punches like that sometimes. And when you're doing this, and if he's not checking some of those leg kicks, if Justin Gaethje comes to make a highlight reel out of Patty, kicks those legs, take the opportunity for him to take you down out so he won't bring you on the ground, and then you go ahead and you just become a savage, bring it in close, because he looks like the shorter fighter. Yeah. It's bring it in close, and you just starting. He has a chance.
I agree. If Gaethje's gonna have to utilize his legs, and he's gonna have to hurt Patty's.
Yes,
he's gonna have to do that. Like that should be the game plan, because like at that point he's gonna have to try to take you and grapple you down, but it's gonna be impossible to do that when you have weak legs.
Yes,
and then when you're standing, who's the better fighter? Gaethje. So he has to bring him and cope him into his own world.
Yeah.
And then at that point, that's where we'll see what's really gonna happen. And if it does, it may even be later in the rounds. I don't mind seeing a 4th or 5th round knockout, because Gaethje may take time. Like, who has more heart, in my opinion? I've seen Gaethje get punched in the face so many fucking times, bro. That's probably why he may want to retire. But what's gonna really affect him,
I think that last knockout from Max Holloway. You know, remember Max Holloway was beating his ass the whole fight. Let's call a spade a spade. Yeah. That was not the Justin Gaethje we were used to. Max Holloway pieced him up, but Max just seems to get better with time, ironically. And the way Max got knocked out by the champion Ilia Topuria. It's the web of the UFC housewives is phenomenal, yo. And you know, when you see the fact that Gaethje was laying flat, you know, Max called him out, he got laid flat. You lose a lot of brain cells. You knock off, like, you know, Rogan said it. If there was a chart about how many knockouts you get in your lifetime, that knockout just took off 3, like at once. Yeah, if there was a chart, that should, like, if you had 10 knockouts in your life, you just chopped off 3. You got 7 left.
Yeah, but what's gonna really hurt Gaethje is that he can't go into the ring already expecting for himself to retire.
That hurts anybody,
because then at that point,
that's the curse.
That's potentially death sentence.
That's the curse.
Like, that's how you really get yourself hurt. And
absolutely.
Because, like, in any sport, if you think about tanking in any sport,
before you start the fight,
you going into a fight thinking that, damn, I'm already gonna lose. No, you're not gonna lose, bro. Potentially, you might die. All right, so you gotta go in there, even if you think that
he already looks cross-eyed. I never say it to your face.
Yo, and no matter what you ever do, and what type of, you know, business line you're in, or what entertainment business you are in, even if you had the thought prior to what you're about to do for the main event on the biggest stage that probably UFC has ever had, you're the main event now, you know, you can't go in there thinking that, yo, after this, I may retire. No, because if you win, nigga, you probably not gonna retire. So stop that mentality shit, like that loser that's loser mentality. It happens in every sport, happens in boxing, happens in basketball, happens in everything, man.
I wonder if that's a drop the ball moment for athletes. I wonder if athletes get, because in any sport, I wonder if that's something that you say, especially in UFC though, or in fighting. I wonder if that's something that you say, and then after you say, you go, shouldn't have said that, because it's really like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking to tell media and press that are invested in you, or gamblers, or the gamblers, the gambling world, they're invested in you, and you're over here with the mentality, I'm going to retire after this one if I don't win, or if I get knocked out.
Because you know why? They actually, like, depending on when and where they're actually those questions, that's how they get you, man. They find the moments when you're vulnerable, bro. Like, that's why in any sport, if you really listen, you gotta wait and sit there after the fight, bro, because them niggas ain't trained to say shit. They're not prepared. They're not prepped. They're not nothing, bro.
And they just got to talk about what they just saw.
I want to hear the after fight comments, bro. Like, what is the winner gonna say? What is the loser gonna say? Because there's no time for them to think, bro. That shit's organic. That shit's just what they really feel that moment, And he probably had, and that I think when he said that, it wasn't at, you know what I mean? Like, he had time to think about it. He was, you know what I mean?
That's what I said. That's a drop the ball moment.
Exactly. So he's really thinking about it.
And that's why the odds are favoring Patty, along with the age. Because if you look at strength and schedule, Gaethje got it. If you just looked at these two schedules and you look at who he fought, Gaethje has fought the who's of who. But how he's talking and how he's carrying himself, and God bless him. Say he wins, I think his best bet would be to retire after the win, because you still retire a champion. Yeah. Even if you're an interim, you're still the champion. You can still retire, save face, not have to go out with a loss. And then you leave the title back in the air, so it leaves us fans to go hungry over who's next for it. Yeah. And you leave a mark. Yeah. I think George St. Pierre won the belt and retired. You know what I'm saying? Like, he came back, won the belt and retired. This is what you do. As a champion, you can walk out on your shield like that. But to put the negative energy out there, to say, "Ooh, Bubba, we don't like to hear that. We don't like to hear that, Bubba. We don't like to hear that. We don't
around. Gaethje might get knocked out."
Yeah, and he got knocked out by Max, and Max is no slouch. And Patty's not coming to play. Patty's not coming to play. He's looked in shape. He hasn't done what he did in the beginning of his career, where he would win it. Look, I told you, he would only fight once a year, twice a year. He would win a fight, blow up to 300 pounds, and then get in shape for the fight again. And that's not how he would. Son, his face is crazy. It's like if you look at his face and his pictures, like his bio. Look how fat he looks in his bio. Look at this shit. Oh no, he don't look that bad there. But this nigga would blow up between fights.
That's all that Guinness he's drinking.
Well, now, but look, comparably, look, that's not him on fight night. That's him chill. Comparably, he would blow up. Gaethje's always been, one, at that weight. Two, he's been a veteran of the sport for a very long time. I would love to see him come out with a W. If I was betting, I would put my money on Gaethje, just because I'm a favorite, and I don't think Gaethje wants to go out against this young man. I don't think he wants to be on Patty's hit list and someone that got it done to him by Patty the Batty. I think that he knows what's on the line, and he would rather retire the interim champion than take this loss and not get and walk out and retire with a loss off of a knockout or off of a submission. He already lost 2 championship fights off of submissions. You're gonna lose this 3rd fight off of submission and retire? I think he's fighting for more. I would put money on Gaethje. I think he's fighting for more. Shout out to Batty. If Batty can do it, he's the next gen. He's the next thing to Conor McGregor that we got when it comes to fighting record, the way he talks, the way the fans idolize him. His antics aren't as bad, and he's a more of a purist than Conor when he talks about his opponents. Even talking about Ilya, he's like, "Listen, I was supposed to fight Ilya, but I'm glad that I hope he's okay with his family situation. I hope he takes care of it. That's one thing. Fighting is another thing." but I'm walking out of that place with the belt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's a very respectable fighter, so I got nothing against Patty. But I would like to see a fairy tale story written a different way than the way UFC likes to write these guys out. UFC likes to give these guys the hardest fights on their way out. Come on, they gave Nate Diaz Khamzat Chimaev on the way out, and then at the last minute they changed the fight and gave Khamzat to Kevin Holland. But they give the fighters on the way out that gave them these pay-per-views that were part of these events, and they give them these fights that are like, fuck, Patty the Baddie's no fucking slouch, especially for Gaethje. Yeah. No slouch. You know, that's why I want to go to Gaethje though, because I want to believe in a fairy tale. It'll be different this time. Don't get knocked out and retire. You know what I mean? Get the belt and retire. Let's go.
Word.
Let's go.
Word. Yo, you know what? I don't think I even need to say anything more after that, but I do want to say this. Gaethje, do you really want to be the guy that got his nickname is Baddie? Like, I don't. Yeah, but y'all know what it is. Y'all came. This is our first episode of MMA Talk. Yo, G. Yo, I appreciate it, my brother. Salute. You know what I mean? We're gonna try to do this as often as possible.
Catch us once a week.
You know what I mean? When
definitely,
all the new topics and we'll brush it up against. I've done other boxing shows, but now I'm trying to get into the UFC lane. I've always
we got him. We kidnapped him.
I've always watched it, but you know what I mean. Now I'm focused. But and G always knows his shit, so he's always escalate it. But thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate it. Drunk Sports Talk. Make sure you check the link out on the bio and in the description. Check out the merch store. Y'all already know there's always new things there from different entities, all sports. We don't just only talk Knicks and Giants. You know what I mean? You can't be depressed for the rest of your life, your whole life, like I've been just talking Knicks and Giants. You know what I mean?
Sometimes stop it.
You gotta step out of it.
Stop it.
But on that note, you know what I mean? I'm gonna take my shot. You can drink your 0%. You know what I mean? We love y'all. Have a good night. We see y'all soon. Peace. Just hit and stream.